screen. Reading from Teachings of Lord Chaitanya. This distribution of personal wealth is very instructive for all who desire to be elevated to the advancement of spiritual knowledge. Generally, a person bequeaths all his accumulated wealth to the family members and then retires from family activities for progress in spiritual knowledge. But here we find the exemplary behavior of Rupa Goswami. He gave 50% of his wealth for spiritual purposes. This should be an example for every one of us. The 25% of his accumulated wealth, which he kept against personal emergency, he deposited with a good business firm, since in those days there were no banks. Another 10,000 coins were deposited for expenditures by his elder brother Sanatan Goswami. Rupa Goswami at this time received information that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was preparing to proceed toward Vrindavan from Jagannath Puri. He sent two messengers to receive actual information of the Lord's itinerary, and then he made his own plans to go to Mathura to meet the Lord there. It appears that Rupa Goswami got permission to join Lord Chaitanya, but Sanatan Goswami did not. Therefore, Sanatan Goswami entrusted his responsibility in the government service to his immediate assistants, and he remained at home to study Srimad Bhagavatam. He engaged some 10 or 20 learned brahmanas and began an intensive study of Srimad Bhagavatam in their company. While he was thus engaged, he submitted sick reports to the Nawab, but the ruler was very anxious for his advice in government matters, and therefore he suddenly appeared one day at Sanatan Goswami's house. The Nawab entered the assembly of Sanatan Goswami and the Brahmanas, and out of respect, all of them stood up to receive him and they offered him a place to sit. The Nawab said, "You have submitted sick reports, but I sent my physician to see you, and he reported you have no illness. I did not know why you were submitting sick reports and not attending to your service, so I've personally come to see you. I am much perturbed by your behavior. As you know, I completely depend on you and your responsible work in governing. I was therefore free to act in other matters, because I was depending on you. But if you do not join me, your past devotion will be spoiled. Now, what is your intention? Please tell me." On hearing this, Sanatan Goswami replied that he was unable to work anymore, and it would be very kind of the Nawab if he appointed somebody else to execute the work that was entrusted to him. The Nawab became very angry with this and said, "Your elder brother lives like a hunter, and if you also retire from the administration, then everything will be finished." It is said that the Nawab used to treat Sanatan Goswami as a younger brother. The Nawab was engaged in conquering different parts of the country, and he was also engaged in hunting, and therefore he depended more or less on Sanatan Goswami for administration, and so he pleaded with him. "If you also retire from the government service, how will the administration be run?" Sanatan Goswami replied very gravely, "You are the governor of Gauda, and you punish different kinds of criminals in different ways. So you are at liberty to punish anyone according to his activity." The purpose of his reply was that the governor was engaged in hunting animals and killing men to expand his kingdom. So let both of them suffer according to the acts they were performing. The Nawab was intelligent and he understood Sanatan Goswami's purpose and left the place in an angry mood. Shortly afterwards, he went off to conquer Orissa and ordered the arrest of Sanatan Goswami until he returned. Rupa Goswami then learned that his elder brother Sanatan had been arrested by the Nawab. He sent information by messenger that the 10,000 coins from go to Bengal, in custody of the grocer, could be used to release him from the Nawab's detention. Rupa Goswami, with his younger brother, whose name was Sri Vallabha, then started for Vrindavan to meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sanatan offered 5,000 coins to keep the to the keeper of the jail in which he was being kept in custody. He advised the jail keeper to gladly accept the 5,000 coins from him and let him go, because by accepting such money, he would be materially benefited, and at the same time, he would be acting very righteously in freeing Sanatan for spiritual activities. The custodian replied, "Of course I can let you go, because you have done many services for me, and you are in government service. I know that, but I am afraid of the Nawab when he hears that you are free. I'll have to explain. How can I accept such a proposal?" Sanatan gave a story which the custodian might submit to the Nawab as to how he escaped, and he raised his offer to 10,000 coins. The custodian then agreed to the proposition, as he was very anxious to get the 10,000 coins, and so he let him go. Sanatan then proceeded to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He did not go on the open road, but traveled instead through the jungles until he arrived at a place in Bihar called Pavda and rested there at a hotel. The hotel keeper, meanwhile, was informed by an astrologer employed at the hotel that Sanatan Goswami had gold coins with him, and he wanted to take them from him. And so he spoke with superficial respect. "You just take your rest tonight, and in the morning I shall arrange for you to get out of this jungle trap." Sanatan, however, was suspicious of the behavior of the hotel keeper, and he inquired from his accompanying servant Isan whether he had some money. Isan told him that he had 7 gold coins with him. Sanatan did not like the idea of the servant carrying such money. He was angry with him and said, "Why do you carry this death knell on the road?" Sanatan at once took the 7 gold coins and offered them to the hotel keeper. He then requested the hotel keeper to help him through the jungle. He informed him that he was on a special journey for the government and could not travel on the open road. Therefore, it would be very kind if the hotel keeper would help him to get over the jungle mountain. The hotel keeper replied, "I misunderstood that you had 8 coins with you, and I was thinking of killing you to take them. But you are such a good man, I can understand. So you don't have to offer me money. I'll get you out of the hill track." Sanatan replied, "If you don't accept these coins, then someone else will take them from me. Somebody will kill me for them. So better you take them. I offer them to you." The hotel keeper then gave him full assistance, and that very night he helped him to get past the hills. When Sanatan emerged, he requested his servant to go home with the 1 coin that he had still with him, and he would go alone. After the departure of his servant, Sanatan felt completely free. With torn clothing and with a water pot in his hand, he began to proceed toward Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. On the way, he met his rich brother-in-law, who was also in the service of the government, and who offered him an excellent blanket, which Sanatan accepted at a special request. Then he parted from him and went alone to see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at Benares. When he reached Benares, he understood that the Lord was there, and he was very glad. He was informed by people that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was staying at the house of Chandrasekhar Acharya, informed him, and he went there. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was inside the house, and he could understand that Sanatan had arrived at the door. He asked Chandrasekhar to call the man who was sitting at his door. He is a Vaishnava, a great devotee of the Lord. Chandrasekhar went out to see the man, but he saw no Vaishnava at the door. He saw only a man who appeared to be a mendicant. The Lord then asked to see the mendicant. When Sanatan entered the courtyard of the house, Lord Chaitanya hurriedly came to receive him and embraced him. The Lord embraced him. Sanatan became overwhelmed with spiritual ecstasy, and he began to say, "My dear Lord, please do not touch me." But both of them embraced each other and began to cry. Seeing Sanatan and Lord Chaitanya acting thus, Chandrasekhar was struck with wonder. Lord Chaitanya received Sanatan in this way and asked him to sit down with him on the bench. So we'll conclude the reading there. And to quickly summarize, here we start off with seeing how Rupa Goswami is working for the government. And uh, this is and also brings up an important point for us to understand how we should be able to uh, balance our material and spiritual lives. And here we're seeing that Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami are both examples of that. Uh, we see that Sanatan Goswami later on, he is, using all this money just to get closer to Krishna. So in a similar way, when we work and we have these positions, we should be using, or in some way, our positions or money and directing them towards the service of Krishna. And we see that uh, even though Sanatan Goswami is such a great devotee of the Lord, he is still like using his logic, reasoning, and money wisely. For example, how he gives the money to the hotel keeper so that he doesn't get into harm's way while traveling through the forest and get killed for the money. He gives the money to someone else. So similarly, instead of, you know, with blind devotion, just assuming that, all will be safe and Krishna is there, we still make our efforts to keep ourselves materially safe and then, leave the rest up to Krishna. And later on in this last section, we're seeing how the Lord reciprocates the pure love of his devotees. So when Sanatan Goswami comes and he begs the Lord to not touch him because he feels impure, the Lord still embraces him because uh, just as the devotee loves the Lord, the Lord loves the devotee infinitely more. So these are some points and connections that I've seen in today's reading. And yeah, I'll conclude there. That's all I have. So we'll continue with the chanting.